Right. Today's
Today's
Father's Day.
Day.
We gotta call our
Happy
dads.
Father's Day.
What'd you do for Father's Day?
I text my dad.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna make it to go visit him, which kind of I feel bad because I was able to go visit my mom on Mother's Day, but I made him a promise to take him out for beers and to go bowling.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh,
And he
that's
just
nice.
goes, "You can bowl." It's like I'm not bowling.
He doesn't know you bowl? Oh,
He knows.
So you made him a promise to do the thing that you love the most.
Yes.
There you go.
He doesn't like bowling?
He doesn't really like anything. So he's one of those guys like I can't get him any kind of a gift. If ever I'm gonna like gift him with something, it's got to be Dodgers or Kings tickets. But we've done that so many times. I'm trying to think outside. I'm trying to like go do something with him. You know what I mean? And to show him this new thing that for the past year I've been practicing. Yes, people, I bowl 232 Pickwick Bowl. Catch me there Tuesdays and Thursdays. But
my
kinda share
dad's
it
the
with
same
him.
way. My dad, I've had so many gift fails from my dad, and I'm
Yeah.
like I love to like really be thoughtful about my gift giving and give people something that like I think they will love, and so many things that like I know my dad is into, but he just like never opens
Do you have,
the
do
gift,
you
like
have-
never
do
uses.
you have your
the-
phone on you?
No,
Call him
it's
up.
He's over there.
If I get your phone, will you call him up?
No, I'm not calling.
We just
him
call
on
him
here.
and wish him happy.
No.
Listen, because here's the thing. You put all this time and energy into gifts.
should we all call our dads?
Well, my phone's on live stream, and I called my.
Nice
I called my
excuse.
stepdad last year, and it was a really nice.
I remember that.
Was
I
it?
actually listened to it.
Wasn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like and my point is, it's tough to be like very specific with giving the love to like your dad. Is it easier with moms? But Tasha, have you made that call where you give like a specific thing? Could you do that?
I don't know what you mean.
Could you call your dad and find a moment where he was a great dad and tell him? Could you do that?
That's a very uncomfortable. Our family doesn't operate that way.
I'm the same way. I couldn't be like, hey, I think you're a really great. He'd be like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
here with a stick poking at what's uncomfortable to you. Why do what's comfortable? It wasn't comfortable for me to call my stepdad and tell him that and try not to cry. It's not comfortable. Now, what about you, Channing? You have a dad moment?
Yeah, I've always thought. I think last year when you called your dad, it made me start thinking of that moment. And I remember, again, my family was super last minute too, and that like kind of ingrained in my DNA. So I was supposed to do this book report and have this book read, and I didn't read
I'm
it.
getting anxiety listening to this.
We're all gonna dream about
Yeah.
college.
Read that
when-
last page. You're like, how'd they
this
get
was.
there?
I think I was like 7, probably in 2nd grade, and so I was supposed to read this Goosebumps book, and I didn't read it. And the book report was due the next day. I was supposed to have it done, and I had to go to my dad and tell him like, hey, I didn't read this book. I didn't do the book report, and I thought he was going to be so mad and like so disappointed, and I was going to get in trouble. But instead, he took the day off of work and like sat me in his bed with him, like we just like kind of this like bear hug style, and read me the entire book
Jeez.
in a day,
I'm gonna cry.
dude. And then I remember literally looking up at my dad, and he's not like an animated guy. You are tearing up.
I am tearing up. I'm a softie for this shit.
And he's no theatrical type person. He's very blunt and very bland, but he was like getting into this story, and he's doing voices and he's telling it. And I remember like looking up and watching him and like seeing this different side of him. He was very like nurturing and loving. And then we like halfway through the book, we fell asleep and took like a 2-hour nap together, like him just holding me. And then we woke up and finished the book. And like, not only was I just like, holy shit, this was the best day, just me and my dad, I was also like, dude, my dad's the fastest reader alive. Because when you're little, it takes you like 2 months to read Goosebumps, you know what I mean? Despite the fact that the words are, billboard size on each page. But yeah,
it's a braille cover.
yeah, it always stuck out to me like, damn, I remember that day.
Wow, that's a special moment. You should tell him that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because he remembers it. You know what I mean? If it's a hard conversation to have, lean into that and go, why is it hard for me to share with some of the most important people of my life the way I feel? And why can gratitude be lost in the throat? I don't know if it's the throat or wherever it is, but you can sometimes find a specific place where you get choked up. Hard enough for both of you to share your story with me, a guy you're very comfortable with.
I know exactly that throat thing you're talking about.
I've
I get
done
it all
it.
the time. I feel like you need like a chakra unblocking or something for that.
I'll give it a shot. This will
Okay,
be
I'm
interesting.
gonna turn off our microphones when we get going here, and you can have the floor. And then
This
again,
will
if it's not how you wanted it to go, we'll just cancel it.
It probably won't be.
No, don't make
we'll
it a thing,
see.
Channing. It doesn't have to be a thing.
Let's see if he even answers.
That's all right if he doesn't.
Oh, he's gonna answer.
We'll turn it ourselves.
He could just be asleep with Jerry Springer on in the background.
Hello?
Hey. What are you doing?
Make myself something to eat?
Oh, yeah? What'd you make?
Nothing yet.
Oh, you're about to?
Yep.
Cool. I just want to call and say Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Yeah. So right now, I'm doing a live Father's Day podcast with some of my friends. They have a big podcast, and is it cool if you're on it real quick?
Yeah?
Yeah. So we're talking about Father's Day and talking about appreciation, and I wanted to say thanks for being a great dad, and to share. We're talking about like certain landmark memories that we had. Do you remember this one time when I was in like second grade? I had a book report that I was supposed to do, and I didn't do it. I didn't even read the book, and you stayed home from work that day, and you read the entire book with me, and you're in Mom's bed.
I don't remember it.
You don't remember that?
I remember when you were in the second grade, you threw up on me in the grocery store.
Well, you read the entire book like in one day, and then we like ended up taking this epic nap together and finishing the book. And I remember thinking like how great that memory was, and I remember thinking that you were like the best reader on the planet. I was so impressed with your reading skills.
That had to be the only book I've ever read. I don't even remember it.
It was some shitty Goosebumps book. But yeah, you were like super animated. I never seen you be like theatrical, and it's always stuck out to me. So I wanted to say thank you. That was a cool memory to have. Yeah, I was telling my buddy Dave here. He's the host of this podcast, and he started tearing up.
Really?
Yeah, you want to like insult him or anything?
You guys made it easy for us.
Huh?
So you and your sisters made it easy for us.
You think so?
Yeah.
Is there any memory that you have, like, from any one of us that sticks out as, like, a parenting landmark? Or for you and Mom?
Oh, no, I can't just pinpoint one. I mean, there's so many. There's lots. Yep. Not one just stands out.
All right.
Not one.
Well, what are you guys doing later?
Nothing. I'm watching the U.S. Open golf.
All right. It's a perfect Father's Day then, huh? No kids? No kids, just golf?
That's it.
Right on. All right. Well, I just wanted to call and say all that stuff.
All right.
All right. I love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
See ya.
Oh, that was sweet.
Wow.
Oh,
That was great.
so sweet.
He was deflecting. He gave him a nice compliment. He was like, "Yeah."
He probably hasn't heard anything like that in a while.
You know, it's
But that's well,
it puts a lot on our parents to like hear that, and it's a little weird for them.
they're uncomfortable with
But that's
it
gonna
because that
sit with them.
generation is not raised with that sort of like communication
Yeah.
skill that we're
Especially, like,
developing.
My dad, like they came from Spanish-speaking New Mexico, and they moved to Southern California, and like it was such a lifestyle change. My grandpa was like a hard-ass individual, like abusive, emotionally shut off, war vet, truck driving, drinking, just football wrestling dad. So
You have to be that way to push down the emotions of humanity. You have to. I was looking at like we're stripping this paint, right? That's what you got to do. You got to be stripping the paint of all the hardened experiences to get to the true emotions. Now you've got your dad who's watching the U.S. Open by himself, probably thinking how nice it was to get a specific memory from his son. Like, oh, he does know I did the best I could.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you're trying to tell your parents is, I know you did the best you could. I'm not saying it was bad. You did the best you could, and here's how I remember that. And he doesn't even remember it because to him, you know, he's probably like dads are so busy just wanting to work and make sure they're bringing home enough money and all the stupid things they have to be worried about that like your memory of him is the thing he did for free with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it feel good? Are you glad you did? Or are you just like,
Yeah, it was funny. Like as the phone started ringing, I felt that nervousness in my legs.
we were holding each other's hands. I was nervous for you.
I mean, he's not so closed off, especially now, and especially like because I've become so open, just like doing comedy, like you kind of get rid of that fear.
You do.
But he's not so closed off that was like the craziest thing, but I definitely haven't told him anything like that in a long time,
Yeah.
at least.